Hello, everyone. My name is Brad Dunmeyer. I'm the Assistant Registrar here at North Central State College. I was asked to give a little bit of a presentation regarding the importance of deadlines for our office and just to explain the different processes you'll go through throughout the semester regarding attendance for students as well as grades. So for our office, there's really three components when it comes to the cyclical process of entering information in for students. One would be the initial attendance report that goes out to all of you through email. It's where you report if your students are actually engaged in the course and have logged into Canvas and are participating, or if they're not. The other one is midterm grades. It's obviously where you assign a midterm grade to students to let them know how they're doing in your class. And the last would be final grades. Obvious there, it's just entering the final grades for your courses. But I'm going to go a little bit more in depth as to the importance of getting all these things in a timely manner, because it really does have an impact on the students as well as different offices at our school and the different processes that they run each semester. So for the initial attendance, really what that is 2 weeks into the semester, you'll receive, before the 2 weeks, a little bit ahead of time to let you know, you'll receive an email telling you exactly what the process is to enter the attendance for students. Really, it's just a matter of doing one of two things. It's either letting entering on the report that they have attended, that they are actively involved in the course, or that they've never attended. And the importance there is mainly the never attending aspect of it, because sometimes you'll have students who are signed up for your course, but for whatever reason, they never attend. And if they never log in or participate in your course within the first 2 weeks, that's a great way for us to know exactly where the student is. And then you would say that potentially that they've never attended the class. And when that happens, our office gets a report from you letting us know what to do, which would be to drop those students. It's very important because it's tied specifically to financial aid, because if they've never attended your course before, then they need to be dropped from it without having the repercussion to pay back the cost of that course. And that means we would drop the student from the course as if they were never registered for it to begin with. So they're not issued a withdrawal, they're just deregistered from the course, which can have a significant impact with financial aid, because the student's financial aid is completely dependent upon how many credit hours that they're registered for, or how many courses that they're registered for. And if they're registered for 3 classes, they never attend yours, but they're still in the other 2, for instance, then their financial aid has to be adjusted along with them being dropped from the course that they've never been in. And if these attendance rosters aren't entered in a timely manner, that entire process gets hung up, and it could potentially really impact a student's financial aid if it's not done quickly after the due date. So it's very important to have that in, especially from your perspective, to make sure you don't have students in your classes that shouldn't be there. It makes things more manageable for you. The second is the midterm grade process. Obviously, those grades would be entered at the midterm point of the semester after they've taken their midterm exams, for instance, and you enter in their grades that they've received so far in your course. It's really important so that the students as well as the advisors can know where they stand in your course, and maybe they would need some kind of intervention, whether it be tutoring or something of that nature, or even potentially considering dropping the course if that ends up being what's best for them with the situation. Another aspect to that, though, it's another way for you to drop a student from your course if they are no longer participating. So sometimes a student will be engaged for the first few weeks of class, but then for whatever reason, they may just stop attending. They could just kind of drop off the face of the earth. And there are different mechanisms we have in place to where you can reach out to the student or notify the advisor of the student to reach out and try to get in touch with that student, see what might be going on, so they can hopefully re-engage in the course. And that would be something to do well before midterms. But if it's a student situation to where they just completely stop logging in and they don't respond to you or anyone else, then you're left with a student that's in your course that's just not doing anything. And during the midterm grade reporting, you also have the ability to drop a student. You can administratively withdraw them from your course, it's probably the better way of saying it, as if they're dropping themselves, but you're dropping them on behalf of them. Because what would otherwise happen is they would stay in your course throughout the entire semester. And at that point, you'd most likely give them a failing grade. Sometimes students don't realize that. They're not thinking about dropping the course. And it's a way to drop the students from the course without them earning the F, so to speak. And it can significantly help them academically if you drop them from the course with a withdrawal versus giving them an F because they never did that. And so that's the one time throughout the semester where you're able to do that. You'd exercise your own judgment on that. We have information that we'll send you along with reminding you when midterm grades are due that explain student engagement and kind of what qualifies a student to be dropped from your course. So that's one key component, and it has a significant impact as well for other offices, namely financial aid. It's very important to put in the midterm grades appropriate, whether it be an actual grade or if you administratively withdraw a student. Our financial aid office has to know that because it's still a withdrawal. And there's different calculations that go into it and processes that affect the student's grades. So it's very important to get that in as soon as they're due so we can act on the grades or the withdrawal to make sure everything's accurate in our system and up to date for the student. Obviously, we always notify the student whether it be what their grade is or if they are withdrawn. And then we give them the option to reach out to us to let us know, hey, maybe I shouldn't have been withdrawn. And then it's just a process of working with the instructor, us and the student to make sure what's going on and if the student should have been dropped or not. And we can take care of that at that point.
All right. So basically, just to kind of sum that up a little bit, attendance grading for the first couple of weeks is really important. In a shortfall, if a student is not participating in your course during the first 2 weeks, you need to indicate that they have never attended and they get pulled out of the course and they are not charged for the course. That's why that's very important. If you say that they attended and, they really weren't there, they'll get charged for the course and they'll be liable for those charges. So again, it's to their benefit to do that. One of the things I'd like to do now is show you